Thank you. So we've just completed a closed session and we're going to have our rise and report from that. Turn that to the clerk.
Thank you. So this evening we did meet in closed session for 2 items. The first item, personal item number 01 of 2026. Council did review a request for a leave of absence from a member of council. Council has granted a medical leave of absence to Councillor Ross O'Hara effective immediately and to be revisited after a 3-month period. And that was moved by Councillor Clark and seconded by Councillor Hyatt. Item number 2, council received a status update from Will Nywenning, Manager of Planning, and Ian McDougall, Senior Planner, on negotiations and the level of development in residential areas, currently in various stages of plans of subdivision.
Great, thank you. Moving on to number 9, the consideration of previous meeting minutes. And we have our education council session from March 23rd, as well as a regular council meeting from March 23rd. We put those together, moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Hyatt. Any questions arising from those? All those in favor? And that passes. At this time, we're just going to ask for a moment of quiet reflection. Thank you. That wasn't planned, but it worked. Moving on to number 11, which is the council round table. And we'll start with Councillor Patel.
You nothing at this time.
Councillor Hyatt.
Nothing to share, thank you.
Councillor Welsh.
Just that I had an interesting email from a grade 2 student named Ada asking me to describe the culture in Petrolia for a project that she had. And when you stop and think about it, we really have a lot. We don't think about it all the time, and we're really quite fortunate here.
Thank you. I also got an email from her. I think it might be from her mother, but and it was a great exercise to go through. To think of our culture and what we're all about. So, Councillor Clark.
I have nothing to offer at this time. Thanks.
The mayor sends his regrets for tonight, but he did send his round table. So I'm going to try to read it in the third party.
Okay.
No, sure, if you want to, that would
Save you.
save me.
That's all right.
There you go.
Mayor Loosely took part in the Ontario Climate Caucus online on Wednesday, March 25th. Mayor Loosely said it was an interesting meeting and he will continue to keep council updated. Mayor Loosely attended and brought greetings on behalf of council and staff at the Employer Awards for Excellence in Apprenticeship at the Dover Centre on Thursday, March 27th. Mayor Loosely attended along with myself, Councillor Clark, and Deputy Mayor Field, the Ontario Good Roads Conference. Also, our Director of Legislative Services, Mike Thompson, was in attendance. We met with the Parliamentary Assistant, Sandu, on Monday, March 30th, and gave a brief presentation and request for some funding opportunities. Copies of our presentation were left for their consideration. Copies are also available for any member of council that wishes to read the presentation. Special thanks to staff, Deputy Mayor Field, Councillor Clark for attending the presentation. Mayor Loosely took part in the Lambton County Council meeting on Thursday, April 2nd, and will continue to keep council informed. Mayor Loosely attended the Lambton County Rural Game and Protective Association meeting on Thursday, April the 9th at the Legion in Corona. Also in attendance was Deputy Mayor Field, Councillor Clark, and myself. Mayor Loosely took part in the Parkinson Awareness Month flag raising ceremony at Victoria Hall on Friday, April 10th. It was a great event with a full house. Special thanks to all those that attended and the municipal staff who organized this event. Councillor Hyatt, Mrs. Larissa Ellsworth, and Jason Robinson were also in attendance. Mayor Loosely attended the 25th anniversary for Juice Computers at 4109 Petrolia Line on Thursday, April I think that's the 2nd. I had the 12th, so I think it's the 2nd that he attended.
Yeah.
I congratulated Mr. Jeff Klaus on behalf of council, staff, and presented him with some pins and pens.
Good. Great, thank you. And it was pointed out where I attended, so I don't need to go through that. Thank you. We're going to move on to number 12, which is correspondence, and we have 7 items. If you would like to remove anything, or if there's a motion to receive and file, moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Patel.
And that is for the council of the town of Petrolia to receive and file correspondence items 12A through G.
Great. All those in favor? And that passes. Correspondence for consideration and motion. We have a request for a waiver of park fees and a letter that's been attached. Councillor Welsh,
I'll move that we waive the park fees.
we waive them. Is there a seconder? Councillor Hyatt? Any discussion? Councillor Welsh?
The same first deal as last year. Excellent.
I think they looked after the park quite well last year, so. All those in favor? And that passes. Moving on to number 14, which is delegation presentation. We have a presentation from JSG Animal Control for the 2025 animal control activities. Miss Carrie Ann Zavitz.
We emailed a kind of brief, thank you, a brief rundown. Hopefully everyone has a copy. I'll just go over it. So I am representing JSG. We do your dog catching and animal control for Petrolia. So during the calendar year of 2025, we received and responded to various calls within the community. So we have a total of 8 stray dog complaints and calls. The outcome of those were safely captured and transported to the Sarnia Humane Society. From there, they get processed, if any care that's needed to be done, and then hopefully the owners are found quicker than a long duration. We also received 3 lost dog pickups that we were able to identify because of the dog tagging that we currently have and dog tags that were currently up to date. So those lovely creatures were returned home within, a very short duration because of the active dog tagging and license that we have in town. So again, that reiterates the importance of maintaining our dog tag, our dog licensing program, the stress of the ownership, going through that trauma of losing a pet, and for the animal itself of the trauma of car rides if they're not used to it. So also we responded to 21 calls regarding dogs running at large. So that can come in from calls from you guys at the office or from community members themselves. With those calls, none of those dogs were apprehended. We came out, we did thorough investigation in the areas, talking to neighbors, driving around. And so those calls were followed through. We did our investigation, maintained that the public safety, was fine and that any and all bylaws were being maintained. Throughout the year, we also assisted the town bylaw enforcement officer with varying different animal calls and provided support where needed at different and ongoing municipal issues that we kind of were just there to assist and give guidance when needed. We also worked quite a bit with the OPP in the area within town. Those calls were helping secure or remove dogs in active calls. So those calls came in at all different times and durations of the day and night, and that required us to be quite flexible of our on-call accessibility. So that kind of sums up our overall lists of what we did for 2025. Just wanted to touch base with licensing for 2027. Mandy and I had briefly talked about that being on the books at some point for sometime during the year, but that would be coming up in 2027. So thank you for letting me speak, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of.
Well, thank you
Enforcement of the
for
dog.
what you do. And we do appreciate the summary. It's nice to see what you're doing and be able to let people know when they ask us the questions that there is a dog fee, and these are some of the benefits. And returning 3 lost dogs, I know the attachment that family members that I have with their dogs, so I couldn't imagine. Families go through a lot. Those are family members. So appreciate it. I'll open it up to council if anyone has any questions, or Councillor Patel.
Just a question. Is there any particular things that you've learned in 2025 that you'd like to see change or be added? And you don't necessarily have to add tonight, but just that for the apprehension or the things that you do or what you need to do what you do. It would just be nice to see those recommendations come forth if there is something in particular.
I'll take that back and think on it. Thank you.
Great. I appreciate it. Well, thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you.
Take care. We have a presentation from the workplace group, 50 years. Miss Nolene. Hold on.
Come on, Joel.
Oh, I wrote it down. Oh, now I've lost the paperwork. No, I'm doing it on my own. Tazinski.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's nice.
You wouldn't believe how I have it written down with that. So I don't like saying people's names wrong, so
I'm never offended. It's a very difficult one. I get it wrong sometimes myself.
excellent. Go ahead.
Worship and council and guests, thank you so much for the opportunity. So this evening, really, our presentation is a thank you to the town of Petrolia, the workplace group. We are celebrating 50 years of service. That's 50 years of connecting job seekers and employers all throughout Lambton County. In 1998, we had the privilege of securing some funding to locate in the town of Petrolia. I'm going to need these. So as part of our 50-year legacy, we have identified 50 organizations and 50 individuals that have been with us through that 50-year journey. So we want to make some public acknowledgements. We have a couple social media campaigns, not to be outdone by the Honorable Mr. Loosely. We have pins.
Oh.
I don't think we have as many as he had, but
He does
so
have a lot.
we'd like to offer that as part of our legacy. So for 17 years, our organization was proudly rooted in Petrolia, where we built strong community connections and delivered essential employment and support services. During that time, the town played a very important role in fostering a really welcoming environment that allowed our work to grow and reach those who needed it most. Specifically, a lot of unemployed youth, and we brought opportunities for skills training programs, etc., that we felt were really critical to rural youth. Our partnership has extended beyond a physical location, and together we have remained committed to ensuring that individuals in rural and surrounding areas are not left behind. So through itinerant and remote services, we continue to support residents who may otherwise face barriers to access meaningful programs, helping them connect to opportunities, build skills, and move towards meaningful employment. We also worked very closely with a lot of local businesses. We were the first to do the ramp up when Waterville came to town. That was a very exciting time, lots of opportunities, and even from a small one-person business who needed to hire someone as additional support in their family-run business. So as we celebrate our 50th anniversary, we are extremely grateful to the town of Petrolia for their ongoing support and collaboration. Their commitment to community well-being and accessibility has helped us extend our reach and impact, ensuring that no matter where someone lives, they have access to the supports they need to succeed. So on behalf of the workplace group, we thank you. We thank all of the members of the town. Mandy was a critical component in that many years ago. We have a wonderful pin, which we have.
We will definitely make sure that pin
Yes,
Just,
and I
matter
think I may
loosely.
have one for everyone. We also have a couple of events coming up, an open house on April 29th. Our location now is in the St. Clair Corporate Center in Sarnia. And we would love to have bricks and mortar out here, but unfortunately, that's not how our funding went. But we still have a physical presence when we can for remote clients. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Congratulations on 50 years
Thank you.
and for everything that you do for so many people. You know, it's great that an organization has the stability to last that long, and to what you've done and where you've brought many people. I know you're appreciated. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Hey.
Maybe I should have asked council. Anyone have any questions? No? Okay.
Hockey dads on the council that could have been.
Councillor Welsh actually does have a question.
I was just going to thank Nolene very much because I've used their services since they've been here for different things that we have done. And I believe I sent a query on a Saturday evening a couple of weeks ago, and it was answered just like that. I expected an answer on the Monday morning and I got it within about 10 minutes. So thank you very much. You've been very, very helpful.
Thank you. Moving on to our third delegation presentation from the County of Lambton for the small house project. Miss Jen Bobian. Hey, welcome, Jen.
Thank you, Your Worship and council and guests. This last name isn't that hard in this town, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm married to his nephew. I know that's the
Okay.
first question I get in Petrolia.
That's okay. There you go.
So I came tonight to talk more about our small house. Everyone's watching all the construction at the villa and they have lots of questions about what's happening. So I want to tell you more about the small house tonight. So I'm going to let you know what the small house is, what our local need and impact is, and as well the project overview and what's next. Right. So the small house is designed as a more home-like, intimate environment for elders. Instead of a larger institutional setting, the space will support 12 elders living together in a smaller, more connected household. The focus is on comfort, familiarity, and meaningful daily life, where routines feel natural and personalized. This home has a shared dining space, living areas, and access to outdoor spaces where they're intentional to support choice, independence, and social connection. The staff will work more closely with this smaller environment, allowing for stronger relationships and responsive care. So you can see a picture of the model of the small house. I kind of did the slide after this as well, but this is what the small house is going to look. It's on the east end of the villa right now. So you can kind of picture it. I know there's lots of construction happening down there. So this model supports elders who will thrive in a quieter, less stimulating setting with more responsive care. So our goal is to enhance quality of life by creating a space that truly feels like home. So the impact on the elders, obviously you can imagine it's a big impact to be in this small environment. It's going to have an impact on the daily experience of all of the elders. And we do call everyone who lives in the villa an elder instead of a resident, because it's a term of respect that we use for people who have a lifelong knowledge and things to share with everyone. So living in the smaller group will help reduce noise, we're still on the last slide, confusion and overstimulation while creating a calmer, more comfortable environment. Elders will experience a greater sense of belonging and community as they see the same people each day, both fellow elders and staff. This consistency will help build stronger relationship and trust between the staff and the families that come in to visit as well. With fewer people in the space, there's more opportunity for more individualized care and choice. So this will mean that elders will have more opportunity to choose when they wake up, kind of their daily routines, maybe how their meal is served and things like that. This supports dignity and allows elders to maintain a sense of control over their day. Meal times and activities are more meaningful, less task focused, and gives us more opportunity for engagement, conversation, and connection. The overall goal is to improve the quality of life. So what are some of the key elements of this small house? The small house is thoughtfully designed to respond to the unique support for elders living with dementia. The layout, flow, and the environment are all intended to reduce confusion and promote comfort and familiarity. At the heart of the home, like many of our homes, is a central living room, dining room, and kitchen, like a great room model. These shared spaces are connected and open, helping the elders easily navigate and stay engaged in daily life. Meals will be prepared right in the home, and this will create more home-like atmosphere, also bring familiar sights, smells, and sounds of a kitchen. So stimulating appetite and creating a sense of routine and comfort. It's really a positive to have that kitchen environment within the small house to really allow people to know it's mealtime instead of it coming from another space into the dining room. So each elder in the small house will have their own private room, including a 3-piece washroom with a shower, which is very unique in long-term care. Individual showers don't exist, but this is a new model, and we're very excited about this. It supports dignity, privacy, and independence, while still allowing the staff to provide care and support each person's needs. So what is the local need and impact? Well, there's an increased need for dementia support. We're seeing significant and growing need for dementia-specific support, both locally and across the country. Currently, over 770,000 Canadians are living with dementia, and that number continues to rise rapidly as our population ages. In Ontario, projections show that the number of people living with dementia is expected to more than double over the next 20 years. This highlights the importance of planning now for how we provide care in the future. Closer to home, in Lambton County, approximately 87% of the elders in our long-term care home live with some form of dementia. This reinforces the need that dementia care is not just a small part of what we do, but it's central to the care that we provide every day. Developing this small house allows us to better meet those complex needs while creating additional capacity within our traditional long-term care space. So this project didn't happen overnight. Obviously, it's been a long journey. This slide provides a snapshot of our journey over the past several years. Beginning in 2018, the Future of Long-Term Care White Paper set the stage for system-wide change in long-term care. From there, a concept paper was developed and followed by our first bed application for 10 beds, helping move the project forward. In 2021, a feasibility study confirmed the project was viable, leading to the master program and a master plan, where the vision of the home became much clearer. We then worked together to determine a layout and design. And finally, an updated bed application was submitted, increasing the home to 12 beds based on what we had learned through this planning process. And all the way through this, probably the most important piece is culture transformation. This isn't just about a new building. It's about how we care for elders, how we support each other, and creating a more home-like environment. We're already working on some of these principles with our homes, but what we learn in the small house will extend into the villa and into the other county long-term care homes. It's been a long process, but we're grateful for those early on who had the vision to get this project started. So where are we at today? Well, we're excited. The construction is coming along. It was a long winter, but you can see a couple of pictures here of where we started this winter. But we're happy to say that this week we reached the exciting milestone of the roof now being installed. Over the next couple of weeks, the building will become enclosed and really bring the space to life. Following that, interior work will take place, and we're hoping to move elders into this space in early December. So it's very exciting and ambitious. So this project was funded through a variety of sources, which includes long-term care reserves, recoverable debt, and a Ministry of Long-Term Care grant, which brings the project total cost to about $12.2 million. In order to assist with some of those costs and some enhancements, a fundraising campaign was launched in January of 2026. We're looking forward to working with community stakeholders and groups to help share the message and the awareness of our work. We're always eager to talk to more people, so if this group knows more groups that would be interested in learning more about the small house, I'm happy to go and tell them more. We also have maps and diagrams, everything in the front hall of the villa. If anyone ever wants to stop by to learn more and see more of what's happening, I'd love to take you for a tour. Overall, our goal obviously is for a smooth transition and to create a space where elders feel at home. The larger vision of this home, as well as all that at the villa, is creating a campus of care. So we want connective, supportive spaces for those in this area. So this includes our Lambtonian apartments as our neighbors, Generations Childcare, the new Lambton Rural Childcare that's being built in front of our building, as well as we're welcoming St. Joseph's Hospice in our space later this year. So it's a busy year here at the villa. But ultimately, these efforts are about meeting the local demand through innovative space design and flexible service models that respond to the changing needs of the people we all serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's excellent. This project is excellent. Having a family member that had Alzheimer's and spent a lot of time at the villa, you know, I think this is definitely needed. And you know, I just think it's great that it's moving forward so fast, and it's so exciting to see all the construction out there. So it is going to be a very busy place.
Just managing everyone's parking issues is
Yeah.
a full-time job, but yes,
Parking
it's
that goes
great.
with it, but
Yeah.
I'll just open it up to council. Does anyone have any comments? Thank you very much for your presentation. It's
thank
great.
you for
Good
having
luck
me.
with everything, and we will definitely spread the word. So
Perfect. Thanks so much.
appreciate it. And moving along to our last delegation from Tourism Sarnia Lambton, Mr. Adam Bean.
Staff, counselors, your worship, thanks for taking the time to allow me to speak today. On behalf of Tourism Sarnia Lambton, I just thought that it'd be a perfect time to step in front of council and share some operational updates, some opportunities, as well as some key highlights of our organization over the last year, and kind of foster some communication, some conversation, and see how we can grow our partnership into the future with the town of Petrolia. So a little bit about our organization. Tourism Sarnia Lambton exists to drive economic growth through tourism across the region. So we are the destination marketing and development organization that serves Lambton County, all of the tourism aspects, as well as the economic growth and prosperity for those elements. We focus on marketing and destination development. So not just promotion, but building experiences. So our vision at our organization is to be a leader in tourism development, working with all levels of government to strengthen the infrastructure and experiences in the town of Petrolia across Lambton County. Ultimately, our role is to support communities like Petrolia in growing visitation and local prosperity. At our core, we're here to partner with the municipalities, aligning your local assets with regional and provincial tourism opportunities. And that's really where we have some of the insight and some of the knowledge and connections to allow that to foster and grow. So just a little bit about our team. There's been some changes recently, so I figured that I would reintroduce our organization to everybody. I am currently the interim executive director for Tourism Sarnia Lambton, as well as the marketing director handling those day-to-day tasks. We have Bailey Tremblay, who is our culture, entertainment, and programming coordinator. She works closely with things like we've been developing some film department stuff. She works with any type of cultural events, also working in the entertainment sector, trying to bring events to her, doing requests for proposals for anything that wants to do conferences, anything like that. Tara Jeffries, one of our newest hires for Destination Marketing Coordinator. So she really works closely with new businesses, new tourism businesses that want to expand, want to go from a simple economic model to more of an experiential model, which would bring you into the tourism landscape that maybe you didn't think about before, as well as assisting with the day-to-day marketing operations underneath the marketing director in our organization. And then, of course, we've got an office administrator and visitor coordinator that brings a lot of the information to the visitor, whether people are requesting for information on their next visit to the town of Petrolia, or if they're doing a tour across the county. And during the summer months, she helps facilitate all the information on where to stay, where to eat, what to do. So she really is a key element between a connection with some of your staff and with the visitor. And a new hire that we do have is a finance and bookkeeper as well. So just looking at our organization over the last few years, what we did have 2023 to 2026 was our strategic planning period, which means not only is there some organizational change currently happening right now, but we're coming up to the end of our strategic plan, which is the perfect opportunity to start talking about collaboration, how we can work better with the town of Petrolia, and how we can work to get more eyes on Lambton County across the region, across the US, and across Canada. So for our last strategic plan, what we really focused in on was entertainment, events, and culture. Obviously, we have some landscapes that really play well to the more urban demographic that's trying to escape, get away from the everyday life. And that's kind of what we're here to appeal for. So our waterfront, our beaches, our natural resources, the changing landscape of our forests as well. And we've been starting to work on, near the end of our strategic plan, is really focusing in, diving into that agritourism and that culinary tourism. So it's something that has been, I'll mention it probably a couple times here because it's really something that we're trying to foster, something that we're trying to grow. And it's probably one of the most untapped resources, untapped markets that we have across southwestern Ontario. And I really think it's an advantageous spot where if we work with these municipalities across Lambton County, showcase our rural roots, that we can really grow a new audience of visitors. So let's get into the value of tourism in Sarnia-Lambton. So overall, tourism is a major economic driver, both provincially and locally. It contributes to $30.9 billion to Ontario's GDP, generates $33.6 billion in visitor spending alone annually. So that means that every tourism dollar circulates through the local economy, from restaurants to retailers, accommodations, attractions. It supports the industry as a whole. Locally, we saw 1.8 million Canadian visitors in 2025. So that was really based on an 8% growth in our domestic visitation. And we've had political turmoil and uncertainty over the last few years. And obviously that has translated into visitor habits being changed, what they want to see, where they're going to go, where they feel safe of going. And advantageously, our organization had a strong domestic market to begin with, but we really took advantage of that and really appealed to them, while still not forgetting about our secondary market, like our US visitors as well. And as you can see, we brought in over almost 100,000 trips that were longer trips than what our normal domestic visitors would do. So they average about 2.4 nights per stay, whereas some of our domestic ones were usually around that 2 at most. So you'd have people just coming in for the day. You'd have a lot more day trippers, obviously, because the ease of travel would have been worked well for that. So let's get into some key highlights here. So this is kind of where we can do a little bit of bragging about our organization and what we've done over the last year. So trying to be a little humble brag as we do this. So we've had some key event partnerships, supported and promoted rural and urban-based events across Sarnia-Lambton. I know the town of Petrolia had recently celebrated their 150th anniversary, and our organization was happy and gracious to help assist in certain elements of that planning, as well as the yearly plans that the staff do for their event programming. We're always happy to help and work with them and support different elements of events across Lambton County and in the town of Petrolia. So what our efforts meant was that we actually had a 1.5% growth in overnight stays in 2025. And regionally across southwestern Ontario, all of our neighbors from Chatham, Kent, Windsor, London, Norfolk, Oxford, they saw a decline. So it was somewhere between the 5 and 20% decline. We've been really lucky in, I want to say, like in our our strong push to those new audiences to try and find that new voice and trying to appeal to that new customer base. And in a time where there is decline and we're showing a growth, it shows that our efforts are being noticed. And we hope that it's noticed with the town of Petrolia and across Lambton County as well. And one of the things that led to with the growth of that, obviously it fosters new marketing initiatives, strengthens our position as a leading destination market organization in the region. When we can show growth over the city of London or the city of Windsor, Essex, Pelee Island, we really are positioning ourselves to as a larger player in the game with a smaller demographic. And I really think that shows that our efforts have been successful across the board. With that is the marketing successes in 2025. And I always say that this is kind of my nerd out point, because as the marketing director, I really base a lot of my decisions, a lot of the stuff we do on numbers, on analytics, on how the reporting comes back through. And I just wanted to showcase a couple of key highlights. So one of the newest partnerships that we did which is a little bit of a traditional marketing element, was that we did some strategic partnerships with television. And it was a cross-Canada promotion about our region. We're getting back to Sarnia-Lambton. We're trying to make our name identified to the new audience, to the new visitor. Instead of, when I joined the organization, we were more Ontario's Blue Coast, and that is great as our summer branding, because we do have that tropical blue water, but we have so much more to offer. And the strength of our name as a region is really something that we were trying to highlight and focus on. Through our spending and our return on the investment, we actually had 150% over market value in our television. So that was through strategically planning our times and the stations that we utilized for a lot of this marketing element. So if anytime you're paying to get 1 million views and you end up with 15 million views or plus, then you know that your return on your investment is something that's really going that extra mile and making sure that we're seen. So we've been successful in attracting new audiences from urban Ontario and the US markets as well. Our digital campaigns that we had have outperformed all industry benchmarks for their click-through rate. So not only is it getting eyes on those campaigns, those elements, the attractions, the accommodations, those elements, but people are actually clicking, wanting to learn more. They're trying to follow up. They're trying to learn about our region, and that showcases that we're doing our efforts manageably and successfully. And overall, over the last year, we had 15.4 million impressions through our strategic online, print, traditional campaigns. So that's a lot of eyes on our region. That's a lot of eyes on the town of Petrolia and Lambton County as a whole. And that's something that we want to make sure we shout out loud and make sure that we're bragging, that we're helping, and we're making sure that you guys are visible, we're visible. Our region is a great place to come and visit. So now I figured I'd take an opportunity just to quickly talk about this is where kind of the conversation starts. This is where we see growing sector trends. This is where you have your ears to the ground. You know what some of your new businesses are, what some of the people are looking to do, whether they're looking to expand, whether they're looking to modify their business, whether they're trying to get into that tourism landscape. These are some of the trends that we have. And it's just to spark some inspiration and maybe some conversation, and maybe foster to build some new opportunities in the town of Petrolia. So there's 4 key things that we see in growing sector trends. One of them is that short-term domestic trip. Like I said before, there's been instability across the US, across some international travel, and people are wanting to just stay closer to home. So they're wanting to plan a quick weekend trip, just going down Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday, a 2-day trip. And that's really something that we see growing over the next 5 years as well. The bookable experience is becoming one of the biggest things too. They want more than just something put in front of them. They want to learn. They want to see how things are made. They want to be able to just experience natural elements beyond just your typical service industry. And that's something that's been a growing trend for a while, and it's something that's going to continue to grow too. So any of your operators that really provide a service but have that interesting story to tell, that's what we want to highlight. Those are the ones we want to connect with, and those are the ones we want to foster that growth too. And with that, that's that slow tourism element. People aren't into jumping into something, hurry, we got to go to these 5 places and get out. We just want to, they want to know a little bit more about the culture. And like you mentioned, that you had some of the young students that were asking about what is the culture of Petrolia. It's not just the young people today that want to know it, it's the visitor, people that have never been to this region of southwestern Ontario. They want to learn about the flora, the fauna, what makes this town special, the history behind it, some of the food pairings and why things are growing in this region. And that's more of that slow tourism element. And of course, along with that goes the agritourism and culinary industry. Obviously, food and drink is always going to be a top thing in the visitor's mind. But now they're wanting to know a little bit more of how things are grown, the farm to table experience, how it goes from that natural growing element right to their plate. So with that, we want to talk about the strengths of your municipality. So obviously, natural advantages that the town of Petrolia has, the nearby natural and heritage assets, the oil industry coming from oil springs. We know all about the oil industry as well. So we've got, between the two towns, we really have that strong history, and we both showcase it really well. With the Petrolia discovery, having that 100-year-old working site that people can walk around and visit as well. The small town and walkable features of Petrolia. It's always been noted as like a Victorian town, but that downtown landscape, I know everybody drives it and walks it every day, but to the outsider, it's something that is truly special compared to how some of that urban gentrified areas are becoming more industrial looking. That feeling of those 100-year-old buildings, how they've transformed over the years, is they tell their own story when you're walking downtown. And that's one of the key features that we want to showcase. And getting back to our cultural element too, that's what a lot of like filmmakers are looking for. And that's part of one of our cultural elements too, is to canvas any filmmakers that want that special element. And that's where like the town of Petrolia is a perfect fit. Something that we do keep in mind every time that we have meetings that way, and something that we want to foster and grow. And of course, the mature tree-lined streetscapes that the village has as well. I was walking through Lawrence E. Anderson Park the other day, and I know it's just starting to get green right now. But those tree-lined trails, anything when it's not raining for 30 days in a row down in the flats is what we always call it, right? There's some natural beauty along the tree line that some of the urban explorers don't get to see. And it's something that we want to showcase. And it's really a natural advantage that this town has. So what would be next for tourism in your municipality? So there's lots of key opportunities for growth. I really think as far as expanding the arts and cultural programming, the theater is really, it's a wheelhouse of tourism in here. And we've seen just the numbers that come across every year, and it's all independent productions too, which is something that's really special compared to some of the other theaters this way. It's bringing a flavor of Petrolia to that new visitor, and it's something that could grow and expand on. I know you always have a limited amount of team, a limited amount of time, but that's something that we can foster together between tourism, between the town of Petrolia. Along with that, I see that oil heritage and storytelling, that bookable experience on the history of the town. There's so many buildings that carry their own story, and like we always say, if the walls could talk kind of thing. And there's definitely opportunity to grow, share, and foster that growth of the telling that story to the visitor, letting them experience that. downtown animation and events. The 150th was a key showcase of what that can be. And I know that the staff is planning on some great events doing exactly where this opportunity for growth would be for that element. And another thing that may or may not be a hot topic in the town of Petrolia right now is growing that infrastructure and investment for sports tourism. You can't deny the elements of sports tourism, the dollars that they bring in, where people want to stay and do stuff, the economic impact on that local community should always be in mind, should be something that we can foster and grow some connections together and really showcase the history of Petrolia as a sports town, as well as the growth of Petrolia as a sports tourism town. So with that, I just want to say that tourism growth works best when it's a partnership. So me being here today is to reintroduce you to our organization, to our team, and showcase how, first give you some ideas, and then showcase how you can engage with us in the organization. Obviously, as counselors, as somebody who's got their thumb on the pulse of the town, you can identify and advocate for businesses, obviously wanting to grow, wanting to develop, wanting to start up. Your key contacts for that, and that's something that we really appreciate, and we really love to share that communication with as well. As well as encouraging your local business to contact us if they have anything like that. That's what we're here for. We have some resources that really are invaluable across the southwestern Ontario that can help grow. We've got some key insights on tourism expansion experience as well, and that's what we're here for as well. And obviously, collaborate with us, share campaigns. If you guys have something in mind that you want to talk, discuss, that's what our organization's here for. It's a two-way communication streak that way, and we want to hear from you. We hope that you want to hear from us. Hopefully that me being here today is going to spark some ideas as you go home. And tourism really, it works best when we're a true partnership. So one of the things, just in closing, I'll keep my contact information up here, and I'm going to leave some business cards for everybody as well. So you'll all have my email and my contact information. But one of our regional officers always said something too that really sticks out in my mind, and coming from a smaller town, a smaller independent municipality, it's always something that you have to think of as counselors, as the advocate for the town. And it's your ordinary is somebody else's extraordinary. What we see on the day-to-day business is something that could potentially have somebody in awe. So we hope that Tourism Sarnia Lambton can continue to grow, keep our relationship with Petrolia strong. And I thank you for taking a few minutes to hear about the organizational changes. At any point, reach out to us, any member of the team. Happy to help. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your presentation and putting a face to Tourism Sarnia Lambton. I think what you're doing, and I would hope that you're going to all the municipalities.
Absolutely.
It'd be entertaining to see what you do in Oil Springs, but if you're going to
do Oil Springs.
There you go. That's great. But
I figured I'd start with that one. If I couldn't get through that one, I'd be in trouble, right?
Yeah, if you couldn't get through that one, you'd have some problems. But hearing you, seeing your presentation, using Petrolia pictures, marketing 101, right?
And there's always more coming. We're doing another filming location coming up next week, and we have a couple of Petrolia ones lined up, as well as some in the fall. So we want to make sure that we are hitting all elements of Lambton County, really showcasing the strength that we have in each municipality.
Well, I'm comfortable believing that you know the rural, and you're not going to forget about us. And I think sometimes Tourism Sarnia Lambton, the Sarnia part gets hit first.
That's completely understandable.
Yeah. And I'm saying what like the other people believe, but we're out here too. And, I think that you have a good relationship. What Larissa has done with our marketing and our communications. And I know that she has a good relationship. So I appreciate the good working relationship that you have. So I'll open it up to council. Nobody wants to talk when I'm up here. That's
all right. You summed it up for everybody.
There you go. That's great.
Perfect. Yeah, anybody that wants one, thank
Fearful
them.
they
So,
might be stapled.
it's all right. I'll get the emails. I'll do. Thanks. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Um,
Christmas in here today.
and sorry, I never, if you guys wanted to, you can stay or you don't have to stay. Like, you're not gonna offend anybody. No, no, no. No. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on to community announcements and recognitions, and we have none at this time. No. The first opportunity for the public to address council. And seeing none, there is a second opportunity as well. So we move on to the financial accounts and reports. We have accounts paid. And is this one that I?
So this is, yes. So the first one, so item A, you're okay. Then item B is
Okay.
your pecuniary and item C is Councillor Patel's pecuniary.
Okay, so we're gonna go with item A. Do I have a mover and a second? Councillor Hyatt, Councillor Clark. Any questions arising from that? Maybe Councillor Clark could answer those. I know he goes through nope, seeing none. All those in favor? And that passes. Moving on to number B, I'm going to declare a conflict and I turn the chair over to Councillor Welsh.
Do it from here if that's okay.
Yes.
We need a mover and a seconder for item B, and that is to pay the Lambton sanitation. Councillor Clark and Councillor Hyatt. Everyone in favor? That passes.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Welsh. And the next one, Councillor Patel has a conflict, and do I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Welsh and Councillor Clark. Any questions arising from that? All those in favor? That passes. You, Councillor Patel. Number 18, reports, motion required by department. We have a report from Jessica Smith, and I'm not going to read everybody's titles. Appreciate your title. Not gonna read through. And that's the Committee of Adjustment, March and April minutes. Do I have a mover and seconder? Councillor Hyatt and Councillor Patel.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and file the report of the Manager of Legislative Services, Deputy Clerk, Human Resources Manager, Jessica Smith, dated April 13th, 2026, regarding the March and April 2026 Committee of Adjustment meetings.
And any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that passes. And we have a report from Mandy Pearson, our clerk, and that's a certificate of cancellation addition to fee schedule. And mover and seconder to put that on the table. Councillor Clark and Councillor Patel, and if you'd like to read that.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to adopt the report of the Director of Legislative Services Clerk dated April 13th, 2026 regarding certificate of cancellation addition to the fee schedule, and that the fee of $700 for a certificate of cancellation be added to Schedule K of the Town of Petrolia fee schedule.
And did you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
Do not.
No.
Okay, we're good.
Anyone have any questions regarding that? It's pretty straightforward. All those in favor? And that passes. And we have another report from Andy Pearson, clerk, which is our council remuneration and expense reports and PSSD filing. And the mover and seconder, Councillor Hyatt, Councillor Clark. And if you could read that.
I can, and that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and file the report of the Director of Legislative Services Clerk dated April 13th, 2026 regarding the 2025 Council remuneration and expenses and annual public sector disclosure filing.
Okay, anyone have any questions regarding that? All those in favor? That passes. And go on to finance. A report from Jayla Saunders, financial analyst, senior tax administrator. Long-term debt analysis, for December 31st, 2026. And mover, Counselor Welsh, Counselor Hyatt. And I'll turn the team.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and file the report of the financial analyst, senior tax administrator, dated the 13th day of April, 2026, regarding long-term debt analysis as of the end of 2020. Is that supposed to be 5, Rick? Sorry, I see it says 6.
26.
It is at the end of 2026.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I saw that Rick got kind of excited when I said finance. So is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yes. Yes, through your worship. Just wanted to point out to council, so in annex, whatever, it's not marked. Anyways, but next year will be the last year where we'll have any town or property tax rate. Assume we don't assume any debt. So that would be a great thing. It's taken us, God, about 15 years to get there. The only outstanding debt after that will be for our water and wastewater system. And that's going to 2037. And the other thing I want to point out is we added a new slide this year with Jayla, and it's the last slide, and it's the municipalities have what they call a long-term debt, annual debt repayment limit. That's part of the annual FIR. And as you can see from the graphic there, we're well below our 25% maximum limit. Like I say, the hard part's not borrowing the money. The hard part is paying it back. So we're in a good position that way on our long-term debt.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to open it up for any comments. No. And Rick, as always, you and your team with the finances give us a lot of confidence. So I appreciate what you do. So all those in favor? And that passes. And we have a report from Annette Strand, the Deputy Treasurer, which is the Heritage Tax Rebate for 2026. And mover and a seconder, Councillor Hyatt, Councillor Welsh. I'll turn that to you.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and file the report of the Deputy Treasurer and Finance Manager dated April 13th, 2026, regarding the 2026 Heritage Tax Rebates.
Okay, any questions regarding that? And again, it's pretty straightforward. All those in favor? That passes. Fire and Emergency Management, report from Rick Cousins, Fire Chief. I'll just call him that. It's for the annual report for the fire department for 2025. Mover and seconder, Councillor Hyatt, Councillor Patel. And
that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive the report of the Fire Chief dated this 13th day of April, 2026, regarding the 2025 Petrolia North Enniskillen Fire Department's annual report.
Great, thank you. Chief Cousins, did you have anything you'd like to add to it?
Sure. Through your worship, just one quick question with regards to the report. So typically it's a 12, 13 page report. This year I also added a year in review, 1 page. And I was wondering if councillors wanted to go with the status quo or both, or just the 1 page in review for next year.
Good question. Anyone have any comments? Councillor Hyatt?
I personally like the full report.
I knew you would. Councillor Welsh?
Yes, I agree.
I'm setting these guys up for these ones. So I think the full report is definitely good. And it is a good breakdown. It gives us a good understanding of the fire department. So we appreciate that. Anyone have any other questions for Councillor Welsh?
Just, I think it also helps the public as well to have more information in the visual and everything.
Especially with it being a shared department, I think it's good that we're all well informed of what our fire department's doing. So appreciate the report. All those in favor? And that passes. Second opportunity for anyone to address council. Still nobody's making a move for it. So moving on to other business items. We have a motion from Councillor Liz Welsh. Notice a motion And
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as the deputy mayor stated, notice of motion was provided on March 23rd, coming forward this evening. That motion is whereas Greenwood Recreation Center is a valuable and well-used community asset, and whereas many operational and high-level reports relating to Greenwood Recreation Center exist, and whereas a comprehensive asset management plan, including levels of service for Greenwood, will provide an informed and evidence-based decision-making and will educate residents and facility users on the true cost of operating the facility, and whereas a clear vision for the future of Greenwood Rec Center is needed, now therefore be it resolved that utilizing all available data, including the 2022 Asset Management Plan, Parks and Recreation Master Plan, recent Greenwood Operational Assessment, inventory of all assets at Greenwood Recreation Center, all financial information regarding operation, that staff review all operational and capital requirements of Greenwood Recreation Center to create a detailed asset management plan, including a site map indicating property ownership, wage cost to operate, levels of service, agreements with organizations, scheduled maintenance plans, equipment purchases, utilities, inspections, plans for end of service life for all arena components, and the facility itself as estimated in the ROI for the community. Sorry. And further that staff create the tracking system to record all facility life cycle data for the purpose of informed decision-making and budgeting, and present recommendation to council for plans to optimize operations and where possible, reduce the operating deficit for long-term sustainability. And that was moved by Councillor Welsh.
is there a seconder? Councillor Hyatt? And Councillor Welsh, would you like to?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I have spoken with the CAO and Ms. Bullock, and we have most, if not all of this information already in-house. We just need it all put together so we can see the full picture all at once.
No, any comments, questions? Councillor Hyatt?
This is my question is like, does this conflict with the mayoral directive that we've already, I guess that's already been provided to staff?
I think it brings, well, Rick, do you have a comment from the,
Yes, we've discussed the mayor's direction, and it was basically as a result of something Wyoming giving us less than the normal 10,000 they contribute to our operating budget. So next year we're going to get the stats, the feedback we got from something Wyoming, which was the first time we ever had to fill out anything to get our normal 10,000. That's been like that for, I don't know, it's at least 30 years. We're going to get the stats from the main users, the minor hockey and figure skating, so that we can feed that into Wyoming.
and just a comment, I think that this will also add to our knowledge of the facility and what we have. And when there's questions asked, we'll be able to answer them. But Councillor Welsh, I thought your hand.
And if I may, ultimately, the facility does belong to us, so it is up to us to figure out how we're going to run it, how we're going to pay for it.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor? And that those opposed? No? Okay. And that passes. And then we have number 21, the consideration of bylaws. We have 3 bylaws. Can I have a mover and a seconder for first and second reading? Councillor Clark, Councillor Hyatt. And
That is for bylaw 19, 20, and 21 of 2026 to be read a first and second time.
thank you. All those in favor? And that passes. And the third and final reading, mover and a seconder. Councillor Patel, Councillor Welsh.
And that is for bylaw number 19 of 2026, being a bylaw of the Corporation of the Town of Petrolia to appoint members of the Town Council and Town Ratepayers to various Town of Petrolia committees and responsibilities, to be read a third time and finally passed. The bylaw number 20 of 2026, being a bylaw of the Corporation of the Town of Petrolia to set the 2026 tax ratios and provide for a final tax levy for the year 2026, the payment of such taxes and for penalty and interest of 1.25%, be read a third time and finally passed. And that bylaw number 21 of 2026, being a bylaw of the Corporation of the Town of Petrolia to confirm the resolutions and motions of the Council of the Town of Petrolia, which were adopted up to and including April 13th, 2026, be read a third time and finally passed.
Okay, any questions? All those in favor? That passes. And just before we adjourn, I appreciate everybody's support, filling in. And I was not trying to downgrade anyone's position. I didn't want to get tongue-tied tonight to say everybody's full title. But I appreciate your support and I move for adjournment. So Councillor Clark and Councillor, it's normally me, Councillor Hyatt. And all in favor? And that moves us to our next meeting,
Which is on Monday, May the 11th.
Monday, May 11th. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Andy.